Hi everybody, I am Oksana Sirota, PhD 747 class, Technology Applications in Public Policy and Management class. My presentation is about polygraph, commonly known as a lie detector, and its applications in criminal investigation and treatment and supervising of post-sex offenders and in employment screening. I'll also discuss pros and cons and the accuracy and validity of the polygraph. Lying and deception have been a consistent feature of the human behavior from the time, which is not easy to recognize or measure. Poor people's ability to catch liars motivated Italian criminologist Cesare Lombardo to create the first polygraph, the device which would measure physiological responses associated with the lie. On this slide you can see one of the first polygraph which was manually operated and introduced to the United States by Leonard Keller, the forensic psychiatrist, in 1938. With development of technology, the polygraph became computerized machine, which you can see on the slide, but still monitors and records people's physiological reaction when they answer questions which were specifically built in advance in order to determine whether or not an individual who are tested is lying or telling the truth. There are two major polygraph tests. It's a comparative question test and guilty knowledge test. This slide shows which emotional responses the polygraph machine measures, such as breathing, blood pressure, sweating, and heart rate. All of them have tendency to increase when people lie, because when people lie, they are usually nervous. FBI recognized benefits of the polygraph and was the first agency who bought the polygraph machine in the United States in the 1940s. Shortly after that, the law enforcement agencies in the United States became widely using the polygraph in crime investigation to motivate people to confess crime they committed. In the slide, polygraph application in crime investigation shows the polygraph application in criminal field in which polygraph tests are effective and helpful tool for investigators on criminal charges, child abuse allegations, child custody issues, fidelity test, spousal cheating, false accusation, witness and court testimony. In this slide, you can see other types of crime where polygraph is successfully using during crime investigation. Despite the many benefits of the polygraph testing operation and its use in the criminal field during the investigation process, this machine is one of the most controversial and debatable technological devices. The accuracy of the polygraph testing procedure is one of the main problems the scientific community is concerned about. As of today, the polygraph test is not admissible by the scientists and to the court system in the United States because of the lack of the scientific evidence on the test conduction as well on the test interpretation. This slide emphasizes ongoing debates on the polygraph validity, where opponents of the polygraph test claim that it is very possible to cheat the polygraph and hide the truth. They stated that people are able to control their physiological responses and pass the test even though they are guilty. For example, case United States against James Fry, who committed murder or robbery, but he passed the polygraph comparative question test. Another example of the polygraph failure is the Greenville killer case of the 1982, where innocent person Melville Foster spent 20 years in prison for serial murders, which he didn't commit, but he failed the polygraph test during the investigation. Another well-known example of polygraph failure is Wen Ho case, the Chinese spy who was accused in espionage activities but was able to avoid punishment and pass tests several times. American Polygraph Association, that was established in 1966, is constantly working to standardize the polygraph test in order to improve accuracy of the test interpretations. The organization includes 2,500 members in the United States, and the American Polygraph Association already exists in 33 other countries. And there are 15 American polygraph schools in the United States and the 4 international schools. So American Polygraph Association, that as of today, they enhance the accuracy on the polygraph test, and they claim that their accuracy, the average, is 82%. In order for the test to be admissible, the American Polygraph Association are constantly working to improve the professionalism and qualification of the examiners. The licensing map showing on the slide is proving that the majority of the state as of today required licensed polygraph examiners for the test to be legit and accurate. This slide discusses another area in which polygraph test is useful as helpful tools is supervising post-sex offenders. The graph shows on the slide that for the last 3 years more probationers were able to successfully release to the community. As a result, sexual violent rate went down by 20%, as well as recidivism rate in the prison population also reduced. Why polygraph is effective with the post-offenders? It is helpful because cases are very delicate and difficult to find the truth. A child testimony might be not clear, or a child might have close relationship with an offender. In an adult sexual abuse case, victims might be scared or confused or even dead. The polygraph test helped to assist investigators and probation officers not only to encourage the post-sex offenders to confess their crimes, but also to disclose past crimes, prevent future criminal activities. Polygraph tests are also helping to change the deviant behavior of the post-offenders, looking into roots of their problems by exposing elements of their sexual fantasies that could possibly lead to the future crime. The information taken from the polygraph test is very beneficial and helpful for the social worker who is working with the post-offenders and whose goal is to make those probationers to realize their wrongdoing, complying with treatment program and court recommendation, and successfully transfer to the community life. This slide discusses the polygraph application in employment screening for national security purposes, which was extremely widely used by the federal government during the President Reagan and Bush administrations. The polygraph was used to prevent espionage activities, sabotage in the government operations, and identify disclosure of classified information. 2.5 million government employees were tested yearly, especially in the secret nuclear laboratories in the United States. Moreover, private organizations also want to know everything about their potential and current employees. Thus, the 1.5 million civilians workers were subject of the polygraph testing. Overall, 19,000 polygraph tests were conducted between 1980 and 2000. People weren't happy about the use of the polygraph on them. They feel that the polygraph accuracy and validity is really questionable. They more often ask questions: do polygraph really detect lies? How reliable polygraph is? What polygraph is really measured and how it works? People feel that their privacy and constitutional rights are violated. They believe that the polygraph test carries more political nature than really detects a lie. Opponents of the polygraph test argue that government try to control them with intimidation through the polygraph test. As a result of the public concern, in 1986, Employee Polygraph Protection Act was created and implemented. This legislation restricted the polygraph use within the private sector, although it specifically exempt federal agency and public service employees such as police department and security firm. Despite of the constant debates over reliability and accuracy of the polygraph test, the polygraphy is constantly developing as technological advances have set a very high bar nowadays. New theories and the polygraph testing procedures have been developing in order to increase accuracy and legitimacy of the test. For instance, the orienting response theory claims that the accuracy rate of the polygraph test will increase if the testing procedure will be taken in the actual crime location, opposed to the regular polygraph test when the procedure is taken in the office. New generation of polygraphs are on the way. Scientists who are believing in the polygraph and the polygraph testing procedure are using a functional magnetic resonance imaging which captures the human brain signal, not the physiological responses during the future polygraph test, might end it a final infinite debates between scientific community and law enforcement agency on the accuracy and validity of the polygraph test. In conclusion, I can say that polygraph is a useful but controversial technological device until today. The polygraph is still not admissible in the judicial system in the United States and to the scientific community. However, law enforcement agencies continues utilizing this machine to assist them not to resolve the crime, but motivate the suspect to confess the crime. In my last slide, I placed the question mark near the end because it is the end of my presentation and I hope you enjoy it. But it's not the end for the debates over polygraph accuracy and validity. Thank you so much.